Hi everyone, my name is Maria, and in this video I will be setting up my reading journal for the next year, and hopefully it will last me more than 1 year because I read about 30 to 50 books a year. And this is my first time setting up like a standalone reading journal. And I got this idea when I saw this notebook in the store. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it, but it's not a very usual choice. So it's by a brand called Paperblanks, and they have a series of these notebooks inspired by different authors, different writers. This one is inspired by Mary Shelley and her Frankenstein. So you can see that it's just beautiful, and in the back it has the illustration from the book. And why I'm saying it's not the obvious choice is because I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and most of people were using the dotted grid like a standard bullet journal notebook. But this one is ruled, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna go because I feel like the dotted grid makes everything easier. But unfortunately, this brand does not really have a lot of notebooks with such grid, and the ones that they have, honestly, I don't like the covers. But this cover, just look at it. It really inspired me to create a reading journal. And I know that they have other notebooks in their collection. So I saw Oscar Wilde and Orwell, and I think there was Emily Dickinson. So I think when I finish this one, I will just love to get another one. So it's like an excuse for me to get these beautiful notebooks and to have them on my shelf, but also to have reading journal. First, let me show you what I did last year, this year, 2023, in terms of the reading journal. So I was using Common Planner by Sterling Ink as my one and only planner the whole year, but then it had too many blank pages at the end, so I didn't really know what to do with them, and I decided to use them as a reading journal, as you can see. So I read 32 books this year, and I think this is how I realized that I wanted to have like a standalone one. So let me just quickly flip through. You can see the basic organization of it. So in terms of materials that I will use to set it up and decorate, I decided to try the stamps for the first time because I watched maybe 20 reading journal videos last week, and I think the channel is called Plant-Based Bride. I'm sure you know it. She has a beautiful reading journal, and in general, I saw a lot of bloggers using these alphabet stamps. So I got them for the first time from the store called Hema. And in the same store, I got this washi tape, and I think the colors are quite nice. So yes, I'm not being very original here. I'm sticking to the brown, greenish color palette. Maybe that's just because I got so inspired by all of these beautiful videos. And I also got the matching set of paper from Hema from the same store. So they have these small collections of stationery, quite affordable. So I think that would be a good match. And also, I have a couple of sticker books from Vanilka Stickers, the Ukrainian brand that I absolutely love. And now I know that they have a lot of new stickers in their store, so you can go check them out on their Etsy page. These are their sticker books that are inspired mainly by reading, at least this one, Bookworm, and it has all kinds of stickers in all different styles inspired by books or reading, but I'm not planning to use all of them here because some of them are very colorful, and I'm trying to stick with this darker kind of vintage theme. Again, I don't know why. I'm just under the influence of YouTube, I guess. But it looks pretty good, I believe. And then the second sticker book is the collection of vintage stickers. There are some duplicates, but mainly it's all different designs. And I think that this aesthetics will fit in quite well. So when I'm looking at these stickers or these, for example, I think they look pretty cool, and I just will love to use them for this reading journal. All right, so let's start with the title page. And I I'm so happy that I finally have a chance to use this sticker. It was from a set that I ordered maybe 3, 4 years ago. So now finally I get to stick this beautiful huge frame here. And I think that I just want to make it quite simple. So I will add the letters that say reading journal and this frame, and I believe that would be it. In terms of letters, I'm going to use this sticker book. They have these adorable, colorful letters that look like if you cut them out of different magazines and newspapers, and I will use them to write reading journal. I wanted to use the stamps at first, but even though I'm trying to stick to this vintage theme, I still want a little bit of color, so I think it just would look a little more creative with the stickers. When I started, I decided to use this sticker because I think it looked nice, and then after adding all of the letters, I saw how much contrast does this bright white color create with this brown cream paper. So I took the Tombow marker and colored all the white a little bit, so now it matches the paper color better. Now I'm decorating the first page, which is basically a second title page, and it will have just a bunch of stickers with books, some washi tape, and I remember when I had a bullet journal, this is exactly what I would do. I would create a nice collage on the first page and add some inspirational quote. So I decided to use the quote by Victor Hugo, and the full quote is: "To learn to read is to light a fire. Every syllable that is spelled out is a spark." But I'm only using the short version of it, which is: "To read is to light a fire." And this is my first experience with stamping. I'm not sure how it went. I was always an avid reader, but I wasn't really tracking my reading. And the year when I started doing that was 2020, of course, because of COVID. So I decided, because this is my first formal reading journal, I decided to add the list of books that I read in previous years just to have all of this in one place. I think I've already mentioned that I hope that this journal lasts me longer than a year. So I just would like to have a list of all the books that I've read and liked. So that is why I decided to dedicate these first couple of pages to just have lists of books that I read from 2020 to 2023. And then in detail, I would go into the new books that I read in 2024 and 2025. So these are the spreads for 2020 and 21, and I've added also the rankings that I have on Goodreads, even though I think that they do not necessarily reflect how I feel about these books right now. I think the spread looks quite good, but I don't really know what to do with 2023 because there are 25 lines on the page, but I read more than 30 books, even though I don't want to include all of them because some were just the books for work, and here in this journal I want to focus on fiction. For the next spread, I decided that one page will be fully dedicated to 2022 books, and then for 2023 it will have to overlap with the 2024, but I think that's the best solution I could go with, and I can always just add more stickers and decorations not to have that awkward empty space. So far, I like what it looks like, and the continuation of lists makes a lot of sense. And these 2 pages will be dedicated to all the books I read in 2024. As you can see, there was a little accident with one page, so I had to take it out and secure with the washi tape. And this page on the right, I want to turn into Book of the Year spread. And for the next spread, this was the inspiration from the channel Plant Based Bride. I will definitely leave the video in the description. So she has these stats at the end of the year, and I think she prints them on sticker paper, like the charts, the graphs, and then she sticks them into the reading journal. It just looks fantastic. You have to go and check it out. The statistics that I would like to have is, first of all, the countries, so where the authors of the books that I read come from. Then the languages, and I don't think there will be more than two. And I also want to do the pages, yeah, how big were the books, the years when they were published, then the genres. This I don't really do that much, but I decided to give it a try. Then format, so was it the ebook or the paper book? And also the rating. I usually don't give that many 5-star ratings, but let's see how it goes next year. So coming back to the book of the year spread, I'm just going to take a ruler and create this little graph, and this is how it's gonna work. January and February, and the best among the two will go here. July and August, and the best will go here. I will color the winner between the two, and then after comparing all the three, I will add the book of the year at the bottom of the page. Now I'm just adding some decorations, some stickers in the corners. I think they will look very nice. And I'm also gonna color them with the marker as I did on the cover. I think it's just a good idea if you don't want the bright white color on your stickers. Then I'm making the second attempt to use the stamps, and please let me know if I'm doing something wrong. Because I've never used them, and those are probably not the best quality because I've mentioned they were from this store that just sells things for the house, but I still really enjoy them. Even though I failed to avoid the ink from the corners stamping the paper, but still I think it looks fine. And here is the finished spread. Now it's time to create the individual book pages, and inspired by this notebook, I'm going to start my year with reading Frankenstein. But before, let's take a look at what I did this year. So the structure that I followed in the reading journal, I used the sticker with a book cover, then pages, year, language, country, the rating, the genre, then just my opinion, random quotes from the book, some random stickers. I was quite happy with the setup, and there was only one thing that I changed. I'm obsessed with the first lines of books, so I also started adding the first line, the first sentence of the book, and I'm planning to stick to it. First, I'm going to add the book cover sticker, and I always try to choose the most beautiful one online. It does not necessarily match with the edition that I'm reading. And I also decided to use these stickers. I think they would match quite well with the gothic atmosphere of the novel. Now I'm going to add basic information about the book. I will not include the name of the author or the book title because they're already on this cover sticker. So I'll start with the year when it was first published, then the country, and also the language that it was originally written in. And it can be a little tricky because sometimes the book is published in one country, but then the nationality of the author is different. And in terms of the language, it can also be tricky. So here I'm only writing English because it was written in English and I will read it in English. But sometimes I read the book in a different language. So, for example, I read A Man Called Ove and it was written in Swedish, but I think I read it in English. So in this case, I would just add read in and then another language to this first line. Then I'm going to write down the page count and the genre. And this is the trickiest thing for me, to be honest, because I don't think that nowadays, and even with classic authors, it's not that clear. You can't easily identify the genre of most books, in my opinion. So I think that I'm gonna go with horror and gothic for Frankenstein, but I can now think of a few books where the genre is very ambiguous, so it would not be easy to identify. And the last thing that I will add here is the first line from the Frankenstein, because as I said, I'm obsessed with the first opening lines of novels. Sometimes they're very creative. And by the way, I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube, but not that many, with like top 10 greatest opening lines. So let me know in the comments if you would be interested in something like that, because I could easily make like top 30. And the first line of Frankenstein is, "You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings." I've added a few lines just to decorate the spread a little more, but I love it. I think it looks quite nice. It's also very minimalistic, does not look overwhelming. And one last thing that I want to talk about is the ranking, because as you could see from the lists that I included at the beginning of the planner, I just used the standard 5-star rating from Goodreads and I'm not very happy about it. So I did my research and I've come across something that is called CAWPILE, and you probably know about it if you're into booktube. I believe that it originally comes from the channel called Book Roast, and I have a little cheat sheet here with the system. I made notes while watching her videos, and the link, of course, will be included in the description as well to give her credit. So, the system that she came up with is pretty amazing. I don't want to create a separate spread for the ranking because I don't know if I'm going to stick to it. It's something completely new for me. So I decided to use a little post-it note and just stick it here on the right side of the cover. And I think that's the great thing about the design of this notebook, that you can just stick whatever you need to use as a reference, and it will always be there in front of you. So CAWPILE is an acronym where C stands for characters, A for atmosphere, W for writing style, P for plot, I for intrigue, L for logic, and E for enjoyment. And the idea is to rank each book on the 0 to 10 scale for each of the categories. And then also the creator of the channel, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, makes a suggestion on how we can transfer this system into the 5-star system. I'll also add it here, but I think that if you're interested and you want to have the full understanding of this idea, of this book ranking framework, you should probably go and watch her original video. It's really helpful. So I'm going to add the CAWPILE acronym in the upper corner of the page. I think it would fit quite nicely there. And after I finish reading the book, I will just add my rating next to each of the letters. And then the overall rating will go either in the middle or somewhere at the bottom of the page. So that is basically it. Let me just do a very quick flip through. I hope that you enjoyed my ideas, and I just want to quickly mention that I'm not doing any challenges this year, even the Goodreads challenge, because last year I realized they're not motivating me. I find them overwhelming. So I'm just doing this very simple setup and I'm quite happy with it at the moment. But if you have some great ideas, please share them in the comments because I'm really new to the reading journals, even though I'm not new to reading. And also, please let me know if you think it's a good idea to mix up the planning content and the reading content, and if you maybe would like to see more reading videos on this channel. And just let me show you that I've already printed quite a few of the book covers of the books that I'm planning to read next year. So I hope that I read more than this year, but no challenges, no specific numbers. I just want to go easy on myself. Thank you for watching and have a great day.